Pretty funny when you think about the breakfast cereal we consumed as kids, because there really wasn't much nutrition in them. They were just kind of variations of sugar. But we didn't think too much of it back then because that's the way it was for every family and just the way it was at the time. But thanks to Magic Spoon, it doesn't have to be like that anymore, because in Magic Spoon cereals, check this out. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And there's only 140 calories in a serving. Keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And you can build your own box from available flavors such as cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. And it gets even better than that, because 2 flavors that were introduced for a limited time in cookies and cream and maple waffle, well, now, just like 90s British boy band Take That, they're back for good. So it doesn't matter if you're a Robbie, a Gary, a Howard, a Mark, or a Jason, you can indulge your favorite Magic Spoon cereal and know that it not only tastes great, it's great for you. Go to magicspoon.com/nodunks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it out today. And be sure to use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So it really will be a case of whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want my money back for good, and you'll get it. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode.
Is it an apple or a chocolate? Let's find out. Comment your answer below. And of course, it's beans!
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, November 24th. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, we got Tass Millis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tassie? We got my Top Shot hot boy. He would love to get his hands on some apple beans. Trey Kirby. Hey, yo. And our super producer, making the magic happen, JD.
Hello.
There he is. And here we are. Got a special guest today, filling in for Lily. He provides basketball analytics for The Athletic. He was formerly the director of basketball research for the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's the author of the brand new book, The Midrange Theory, available now. Go grab one. It's Seth Partnow. What's up, Seth? Welcome back to the show.
How's it going? I guess you got the Alaskan to replace the Australian.
That's exactly right. Well, we appreciate you jumping on here. We're going to get into last night's games with Seth and talk about the season so far, talk about the book. You actually said right before we jumped on live here, you had a bit of an event last night. Did Elvino flow at this book reading or hang out here?
It was tangentially. It was at a brewery, so maybe not the vino, but
okay.
similar liquid.
Okay, lager for you, lager for him, lager for you. Okay. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and comment, share the show. In honor of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can all get The Athletic's great writing, including Seth Partnow, and ad-free podcasts like this one for $1 a month for 12 months. Yeah, feels like a typo, I know. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks before the end of November 29th and lock in our very best price of the year at The Athletic. Again, that's just $1 a month for new subscriber for 12 months. Awesome. Okay. I can't believe we're having you, the numbers guy, on here this morning, Seth, because we made history last night in regards to the Wedgies.
That's true.
We need you to get your calculator out and crunch the numbers on the odds of this ever happening again. Reggie Jackson in overtime last night, Mavericks-Clippers game. He stuck not one, but 2 wedgies on back-to-back shots for him in that overtime period. And we're showing them both to you here live on YouTube on the same side, sort of the same variation, that little soft sort of like layup floater. Oh my God. People were having a blast on Twitter. Shout out to Jordy Walters for the crying Reggie Jackson ball. It's the old ball there, the old Spalding. That's okay. And wedgietracker.com's got the update. We're up to 9. You love to see it. Pace has ticked up a bit. But Seth, I mean, people were tweeting at me like, this is more impressive than a 50-point game. This is more impressive than Wilt Chamberlain going for 100. You know, this is more impressive than Kobe's 81. Back-to-back wedges in overtime. What are the odds of this happening?
The only thing I can think of is that's like a prove it shot in horse. It's like, I bet you can't do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, watch this. So, Reggie Jackson wins, basically, is I think what that means. No one's matching that.
Yeah, I think, Trey, we've debated before who is the real Wedgie King. And I believe we had Anthony Simons as our Wedgie King because he's the only person to have a wedgie moment on Top Shot. But I think it's now Reggie Jackson, right? He is our new king.
It's gotta be.
Has to be.
I saw earlier today on Twitter, some people were calling him the Wedge Lord, which I think is really good. That was a legendary moment from Reggie Jackson. I mean, come on. 2 wedgies on 2 shots in overtime. We say every wedgie is like a snowflake. These ones were pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a right-hand little softy floater layup that somehow nestles in there. It was meant to be. We've been slacking on the pace recently, so good to get a couple in one game. I also saw that Reggie Jackson was compared to Fernando Tatis Sr., who hit 2 grand slams in a single inning. Yep. The only thing people knew about Fernando Tatis till his son got in here was a straight up baller. So this is one of the stats you'll probably remember for the rest of your life. Hey, Reggie Jackson, not the baseball one, the other one. He once stuck 2 wedgies in an overtime game. Yeah. Where were you?
Yeah, Tass, anything to add to this legendary moment, as we call it?
Oh, it leaves me speechless. Let's be honest. This is year 8 of tracking wedgies, actually tracking wedgies. And on the call, Clippers broadcasters, Jim Jackson blamed it on the new ball, said it wouldn't happen with the old ball. But they immediately said, checked in with the Elias Sports Bureau, has never happened. And obviously that was a joke, but it has never happened. Unless, maybe as Seth said in horse, try that again. You can't do it. I don't think anybody in horse could pull that off. That was back-to-back shots for him too. It wasn't spread apart. Amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've had 2 wedgies happen in the same game before, but never the same player and never back-to-back shots, and definitely not 2 in overtime as well. Crazy stuff. So, of course, we had to start with that. But let's get into that game there, Seth. I don't know if you were watching the wedgies happen live. Again, you had that event last night, so maybe you caught this one this morning. But Luka returns, and the Mavericks beat the Clippers in overtime to snap a skid here. And people have pointed out, like, what happens when these 2 teams play each other, the Mavericks and Clippers? Like, it's every game feels insane, and this one had an insane comeback and the Paul George shot to get us into overtime, and then the Mavericks take care of business, and Luka's back, and Kristaps is good. I mean, what'd you think of this one last night?
I mean, we've seen that in the playoffs every year, is just these insane, not just games, but the series where there's just swings back and forth, and even with sort of the cast of characters changing slightly. I mean, I know Marcus Morris is back now, and that's always a little spicy with Luka. But I don't know. I don't think I can explain. Like, some teams just play games like that. The other one that's been sort of like that this year is both times the Bulls and Knicks have played, the game has been slightly inebriated. Just certain teams kind of mesh that way, I guess.
Yeah, Tass, you watched this one. Obviously, you saw the Paul George shot there, which, it can't get any closer to still being in his hands, I would say, to tie that game up. But what do you think?
Yeah, Paul George after the game said that 1 second felt like it lasted forever, and it did, and it dropped through. I wanted to ask Seth about Kristaps Porzingis because your time in Milwaukee crossed over with Jason Kidd as head coach there. Jason Kidd seems to be getting to Kristaps Porzingis, giving him confidence. Kristaps had 30 last night and 10 free throws, which was ridiculously impressive. 7 straight games of 20 or more points for the first time in his career. Do you think J. Kidd can get through to Kristaps Porzingis to get him playing his best?
I think it's less about the coaching almost and just where he's at physically. He's been, you remember at the beginning of the bubble, he was fantastic, and then he hurt his knee, and then all last year he was kind of not the thing that's always made him kind of the unicorn, quote unquote, is that he's 7'3", but he moves like a 6'7" guy. Mm-hmm. And when he was just sort of moving like an agile 7'3" guy instead of an actual 6'7" guy, especially defensively, it didn't work. And I think physically he seems closer to back right now than he has at most points really since he blew out his knee the first time. And I think you can give credit.
We're going to give credit to Jason Kidd. till Seth comes back. Here we go, Seth. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. No. Oh, wait. I think we maybe have him back there, Jay.
There he is.
Seth, are you there?
What I said is brilliant, and it's recorded on my end, so you'll be able to-
Okay, perfect. Flawless. I actually saw something in that game from Porzingis. It was in the overtime when he did take over. Remember we were having this big debate of like, he should be posting up. Get him down on the block. He's 7'3". Who's ever going to block his shot? And you're shaking your head, Seth. I agree with that. It's like, no. The opposite, actually, I saw. He got Luke Kennard matched up on him late in the overtime period. You know, they had a chance. They wanted to put this game away at that point in overtime, the Mavs did. And he's like, he actually can handle the ball for a guy his size. He's got a little, like a move or two to him. And he just like basically bullied Luke Kennard. He just like, he's so big. Luke bounced off him and they just shot over him, like just outside the paint. It's like, yeah, you don't need to put your back to the basket. Get a little isolation. You're way bigger than him. You're always going to be able to get your shot off over him. But yeah, that little physicality I thought was really nice to see. And he has been playing really, really good, Porzingis has.
Yeah, no, he's so tall that it's hard for him to back smaller players down. Whereas if you say he kind of faces them, then just the fact that he outweighs them can sort of come in his favor when they're both moving.
Yeah.
But I looked at this from a number standpoint a couple of years ago, and he was the guy who, when he posted up, was between when he caught the ball and when he shot, was making the least ground towards the basket. Like Joel Embiid would catch the ball forever away from the basket and then shoot 2-footers. Kristaps would like catch the ball at 13 feet and shoot 12.5-footers. And I think that sort of indicates the problem that with just throwing the ball, expecting him to just, be bigger than the guy. That's not the way to take advantage of his size.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even know you could track that stuff, but you can track everything nowadays, can't you? With this stuff, they got chips in these guys. How they doing this, man?
I know it's just the tracking camera still. The whole wearables debate is a long running battle behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Still a debate.
Yeah.
With in regards to the Mavericks here, they Porzingis again playing well. Luke is back now. Maxi Kleber, I thought, played well down the stretch in this one. Is the answer the Mavericks, or is there another team that you can think of that maybe the league is sort of overlooking right now, that is like going a little under the radar and we're just not talking about them as much as maybe we should, or you see them bouncing out? You think it's the Phoenix Suns?
The Phoenix Suns. Like, I think that the resurgence of the Warriors has kind of sucked the air out of like the discussion of the West right now.
Yep.
But they play next Tuesday, and I am really, that is, if you're going to circle a game on a calendar, that one is, I have high expectations for that one. So I think that's going to tell us a lot about where both teams are, I think.
Yeah. What have you been most impressed by with Phoenix this year and this winning streak?
So they're playing really good defense is sort of the basis for everything, but it's not like they're doing any one thing particularly well. They're just sort of really good across the board. Mm-hmm. Like they've got good rim protection. They force a decent amount of turnovers. They do a good job not fouling, but it's not, okay, Utah's playing great defense. It's because Rudy Gobert is blocking every shot. Like Golden State's playing good defense. It's Draymond Green is running all over the floor covering everyone. It's just solid. Mm-hmm. And then they have two of the best shot makers in the league on offense. So anytime it's a close game. Yeah, that's a little bit of an advantage to have two of the guys who are last year. I think there was like 7 players who shot over 50% on like off the dribble mid-range shots, and 2 of them were I may be misquoting the stat, but it's something like that. 2 of them were Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and so that's sort of when you can make half of the shots the opposition wants you to take, it's sort of a good place to start from, especially in a close game.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Lakers. They went into Madison Square Garden last night, got down huge, clawed their way back into the game. It got very competitive. Westbrook, who I know you wrote a lot about in your book, he sort of helped will the Lakers into this one, but in the end, it was like quickly catching fire, and the Knicks got the dub there by 6. I guess we'll start with the LA Lakers. Like, are you concerned at all? Should Lakers fans be worried about what's going on?
Massively.
You think so? Okay,
massively.
Tell us why.
Well, biggest concern is, does LeBron have that playoff gear anymore? I mean, there's been other regular seasons where he's kind of, I don't want to say coasted, but kind of managed the season, knowing that, November is November.
Right.
Even in those seasons, though, he was getting to the rim much more. He was shooting fewer jumpers. He was getting fouled much more often. And so at a certain point, you have to look and wonder if like there's real athletic decline happening. Before there's one play, both Hollinger and I, focused on this in the Detroit game before he got booted for going UFC on Isaiah Stewart. There's a play where he blew by his guy, got to the front of the rim, and we've been watching him for 20 years. That's a massive dunk that everyone gets out of the way of, and instead he barely elevates and shoots like this really ugly lefty reverse that hits the backboard and never touches rim. And it's like, that's not what he looks like. And I know he's coming back from the core injury and stuff like that, but it's all season. And frankly, when he came back a little bit from the ankle injury last year, it's that those signs of mortality are kind of piling up. And so that's the single biggest, because LeBron is sort of, the roster's imperfectly constructed. Well, we got LeBron,
right?
And now we got LeBron and AD. But if LeBron is a top 10 player instead of a top 3 player, your margin for error shrinks so much, and the rest of this Lakers roster is well outside of that like shrunken margin for error.
It must be so funny though when you and Hollinger, write these type of things about LeBron, because the immediate response is usually well, go ahead.
This was the most telling thing, is I tweeted about this during the game, and there was only the most tepid of pushback.
Oh,
it was a lot of.
Most people would be like, "Come on, he's done this like 5 or 6 years running. You're a fool. He'll be fine." Yeah, okay.
No, there were even people who said, "Hi, he's done this before." Even they were like, "He's done this before," but. So that was the single. Like, it wasn't. I was kind of expecting that to be sort of an apologetic, and then it was more people were like commiserating with me that yes, we're all seeing this thing happening, and that's one game, and but it doesn't take too long for that to become a trend, and that's single. Everything else we can talk about the Lakers is kind of deck chairs.
And that layup, it looks bad. Exactly like you're saying. It stuck out so bad. That lefty that LeBron throws up, it looked like something from a pickup game. Plus, he's only taken 3 free throw attempts per game. LeBron, like, that's wild to me. That shows you that he's not attacking as much. Surely that's because there's a lot of guys standing around for the Lakers, but it feels like he's saving it for the playoffs. I remember in the bubble, there were people saying there's no way he's going to make it to the finals here. He looks tired in the second round. Obviously, he got it together then, but he's been suffering injuries, right? Like, he had an ankle injury. He had a core injury. At some point, LeBron isn't going to be the best guy in the league. At some point, he's going to go to a 1B in the tiers list. But it's weird to say that it might be happening, because every time you say it, it's a little bit like the Spurs. Like, they ain't making the playoffs this year. Right. They get back 25 straight years. But it certainly feels more like the year than it ever has.
The first time I wrote an article, "Is LeBron slowing down?" was, I think, 5 or 6 years ago. And then that was the year he completely down. I think that was 26 the year they won the finals.
Right. 16.
Like, he was kind of bobbing along all season, and the playoff comes, and it's like, oh nope, same dude.
Right.
Yep. Too soon.
Yeah. No. Trey brought up the player tiers there, which you're sort of famous for doing at the start of every season. Is there a mulligan or two that you'd like to have back on where you slotted a player in terms of, like, you had him too high, you had him in a tier too high, maybe you had him in a tier too low, after we've now seen what are we in here? Creeping up on 20 games, I guess, in this season.
I was probably too skeptical on Zach LaVine.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the I think that's one of the big ones. There's a few other players who I was really like worried about that they were kind of at a certain stage. Kyle Lowry is another one that I just didn't. I was kind of, last year was weird, all like across any number of dimensions, but it was, he misses half the season, and only some of that is the Raptors aiming for high draft picks.
Yep.
And he's always been a guy who's gotten banged up a little bit. But so far this season, of course, like, he's been great. Miami's been great. And speaking of Miami, like, I was sort of out on Tyler Herro, and he's been great this year. In terms of guys I was too high on, some of it is injuries. Like, obviously, like, we have to be very concerned about what Zion is going to be going forward at this point. And
where did you have Zion?
I had him in tier 3, and,
okay.
And based on sort of what he's done on the court, that still sort of holds up. You just wonder how long that guy who's getting to the rim.
Oh my God! Starts talking about Zion. I think the NBA cut his mic. Oh, there he is. You're there. I think you're there. Maybe not.
At twice the rate of anybody NBA history. Oh no, I was waxing about Zion. I'm sorry. You're back.
It's when you start going on these like deep soliloquies. The internet.
No, I'm just worried that as the physical like diminishments pile up on him, and his conditioning remains a question. Can he be that guy consistently over a season who gets to the rim, 50-60% more than anybody else?
Mm-hmm. You brought up Tyler Herro there. He had an awesome game last night in the win over the Pistons. Detroit kept it close, but he was pretty instrumental in the victory. Would he be at the top of your most improved leaderboard right now? Is he a six-man of the year sort of candidate there if he gets enough games coming off the pine? What do you think about Tyler Herro here?
The short list for most improved is like him and Miles Bridges, and maybe depending on if he keeps it up all the season, be a weird player to win the award, but Ricky Rubio has been absolutely fantastic for Cleveland. But yeah, no, he's right there. Certainly 6 man of the year is right there. He certainly fits the player type who wins 6 man of the year.
Yeah.
It's like the joke. Like every year when I'm asked for predictions about who's going to win the awards for 6 man of the year, the winner is Yay Points. So he seems to be the natural heir to sort of the Jamal Crawfords of the world in that respect.
Let's get into your book a little bit because I think the last time we had you on, correct me if I'm wrong, it obviously wasn't out yet. I don't even think you could maybe talk all that much about it. But what was the process like for you in writing this, and are you happy with the result?
Yes, I'm happy with the result. The process is arduous. I think anyone who kind of goes into writing or podcasting has a little bit of liking to hear themselves talk. Writing a book will show you exactly the limit to which that is true. The book is around 80,000 words. I think around word 25,000. The voice in my head really started to annoy me. And it's like people have asked if we're doing an audiobook and if I'm going to read it. It's like, if I'm reading it, there will be no audiobook because I do not want to hear my voice read this back ever again.
Sure.
So that was the kind of the unexpected hard part. And funnily enough, one of the more difficult parts was actually picking the cover. We just went back and forth a ton just to get it right. Because I wanted to make sure that it was both clear that I was talking about data, statistics, analytics, but also that it's about basketball, not about math or coding and stuff like that. And so that was a really tough balance to strike. But I think the folks at Triumph did really a great job working with a very cantankerous artiste.
Right. Well, there's a lot of words. It's a very wide-ranging book. I'd say at about the 60,000 word mark. You've got a chapter about Carlos Boozer and Robert Horry, to take it back a little bit about how Carlos Boozer, far more accolades in terms of individual accolades, but obviously Robert Horry, his role expands in the postseason. So can you explain, just get into that chapter a little bit more, how one guy gets his game on in the playoffs and Carlos does not?
So it's a cliche that the playoffs are a different game than the regular season, but in many ways it really is. And it almost is as much about sort of the grind of an NBA schedule. If you're just the way you prepare is very different if you're playing, 4 games in 6 nights in 3 cities.
Right.
And just the amount that you can, who's on this team? So you play a certain way as if you just don't, how are we going to play the best not knowing who we're going to play tonight? It's a very different question than how are we going to play against this one team? How are we going to play against this one team now that we've seen everything they do 3 times? How are we going to play against this one team that's one of the best 8 teams in the league? And so that's almost, it's still it's obviously still basketball, but the things that are valuable and impactful or just change in those 2 environments. It's kind of over the course of a regular season, you probably get a little bit of an advantage by being left-handed, just because
different.
You're different. It's unusual. People haven't seen it before. Then you then if I'm guarding you for the third game in a row, oh, lefty, it's just it becomes more and just like that's an obvious one. But every like all players have, not all but the very best players have like their signature spots and moves that they like to go to. And as you learn those, you can take those away, and that means whether you have different skills, whether you have sort of the variability to try different things, becomes much more important. Where in the regular season, I have this one thing that I do, and on any given night, you can't stop it. And so Robert Horry had that sort of malleability, and he was never like a great offensive player, but he knew how to fit in around great players. Whereas Carlos Boozer is like, okay, against the 20th best defense in the league, I'm going to eat. Against the second best defense in the league, I'm going to eat my shot several times. And that's kind of how his playoff career played out.
Yeah.
And so it's important that that's a skill thing, and not so often it's pitched as like some kind of moral failing. It's just like the things that one player was good at that got him to a certain point in the regular season just mattered less.
Right.
And that's not his quote unquote fault. It's just, I think my favorite part of that chapter is there's a Corey Brewer quote about Mike D'Antoni told this. Corey Brewer like spun, got to the basket, missed a layup. Mike D'Antoni asks him, Corey, what happened? Brewer says, Coach, I did my thing. I got to the basket, then I just ran out of talent. And that's that's what's happening, rather than guys, shrinking from the moment despite having to, win the game so many times just to get to this point. Like I just kind of reject that it's like, nope, that's too far. You've done everything to become one of the top like 0.25% of people ever to do this. But then you get to this point, you just like, nope, that's enough. I quit. That strikes me as just massively incongruous.
Right. Right. So that's one of the chapters in this book, the Midrange Theory. A couple other ones are the relative value of Russell Westbrook's triple doubles and the difficulty in measuring defensive achievement and the fallacy of the quick two. Like, is there a favorite chapter of yours that, looking back on it, you're like, yeah, that I'm really proud of that one, or I really liked writing that one the most?
I think the one that kind of I worried over the most and ended up probably happiest where it is the title chapter. The chapter about the kind of it's a little bit tongue in cheek because I'm really talking about 3-pointers when I say the mid-range theory, but sort of to really go deep on, okay, we know that 3-pointers have replaced mid-range shots. Let's go a little deeper. Why is this happening? Which shots are going away? And it's not the, the art of the mid-range shots. It's not, people think of like the MJ elbow fadeaway.
Right.
Okay. Nobody has that shot. But Chris Paul has his elbow leaner. Yep. Like, Chris Middleton has his turnaround over a smaller guy. All of these kind of star high usage players are still taking those shots basically at the same amount. It's just everyone else is not standing at 19 feet. They're standing at 24 feet. The guys who are there to kind of create space and opportunities for the star players to exploit. And that's one half of it. Is it's not just these like the shots we're all missing is like it's like Jonas Ilgauskas 20-footer. Yay! I wish there was more of that in the game.
I missed that.
Carlos Boozer, king of the 20-footer.
Yeah. So that's part of it. But it's not just or even primarily somebody with a calculator said, "Hey guys, 3's greater than 2." I mean, it's a function of rule changes. Like the illegal defense and hand checking rules change the relative balance between post-up play and like pick and roll play. Guys like Kevin Garnett and Lamar Odom, who would have been back to the basket players in, coming up in the 80s, starting in the 90s. Oh, that's how you want to play. You're good at that. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And just turning, especially the power forward position, turning into a face-up position has played a huge part in this. Then the strategy of the game. A lot of the rise in 3 is frankly a response to like Tom Thibodeau style defense. You're gonna bring an extra guy to the one side of the floor, where we're gonna throw the ball the other side of the floor, and the shot is gonna be worth a whole extra point now. And that changed the math of playing that defense. So yeah, like it's accelerated by sort of the knowledge of that we've gotten from, statistical analysis and tracking cameras and stuff like that. But it was a trend that was already going, basically since the inception.
Whoop.
Yep.
Another
This is also a trend.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah, it is. I'm
That's all right.
sorry.
That's all right.
But luckily that time I just kind of wrapped up my point.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, guys, do you have any more questions about Seth's book, or obviously the NBA season up to date so far?
I've seen you mention on Twitter a few times, Seth, that playing a lot faster is super beneficial to offensive teams, right? Like it's like every second you get into your offense is worth basically a point for your offensive rating. We always see at the beginning of the season, every team is like, we're playing fast this year. We're going to get as many quick shots as we possibly can. They try it. It doesn't go like that for the entire season. Why is it so hard for teams to sustain a tempo over the course of an NBA season if we know that it's going to be beneficial to them to play as fast as they can?
I think part of it is as they can, because some of it is coaches sort of, okay, slow down, because the sort of early shots are good because when players take shots early, they tend to be open. They tend to be open threes or layups or stuff like that. If you skip that and just like, well, we're going to shoot early, then teams start to take some really bad early shots, and that like there's not much that drives coaches crazier than that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, slow down. So that's part of it. Part of it is like it's hard to sort of maintain the discipline of that pace over, you're playing your third game in 5 nights and sure, running up the court. Sure. That becomes a little harder. And I think so. Those are the two things. It's mostly like some teams just can't operate that way, really. It's still something you should try to do. Like getting into your offense early is always good. It's just that fine line between getting into the offense early and just jacking up some nonsense, which especially for younger teams is probably a line that they fall more on the bad side than the good.
Yeah.
I think which I think we're seeing with the Rockets a little bit this year, for example.
Yeah, I think that's when you usually see too, like a veteran point guard. Like you brought up Lowry already, like so good at sort of like, let's get going here quicker. Let's, let's hit it ahead. Let's take that shot early.
Yeah. And if it's not there, take it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What have you thought about the new rules this season? You love them.
Love them. One of the big things that I've like, the thing that's bugged me about NBA play is people always shoot too many threes. No, part of the reason so many threes were going up is that it was so easy for offensive players to create an advantage. So easy for someone to, if you can't put your body on Trae Young as he goes off a screen at all without him shooting free throws, then it's pretty easy for him to get around a screen, get downhill, and you're having to bring 2-3 players to, stop him and stop the lob to Capella. Mm-hmm. And then, you have players crashing the paint to do that. There's threes wide open. Now that guys can, not hand check, not push, not beat up on people, but you see like Alex Caruso gets his chest into a guy and forces him over the screen, and there's no advantage now.
Right.
So I think that has been very pleasing. Obviously, everyone's up in arms about the take foul. I think that's going to obviously go away next year, but I think that the rebalancing of kind of the amount of physical contact allowed on defense has really put offense and defense in better balance. Whereas last year it was a little bit of a pinball machine at times. It felt like.
Seth, a couple quick questions before you get going. You said you weren't receiving a lot of pushback for the LeBron is he getting old tweet. But I wonder with this Russell Westbrook excerpt it's on The Athletic from your book about his triple doubles, the value of his rebounds, and if there really is value to those rebounds. Can you explain that chapter of your book and how much are the haters on you for that?
First of all, a fair amount. There's certain players you say anything kind of negative about, and they have a lot of fans, and that's fine. The larger notion of that chapter is that if players play the drill, as in if they chase stats, those stats mean less. And it's funny that people get like up in arms about that because it's something we all sort of know. that you can't, you chase stats. You look some like they can hurt the team. It probably does hurt the team. We know this. But in the specific example of Westbrook, there's kind of every NBA team gets, some stats basically just for showing up in the game. You're going to score, at least in this era, you're going to score 80 points. Maybe in the 90s, you were going to score 50 points. And then, build on top of that. You're going to get 25 rebounds. You're going to get 10 or 15 assists. Where those kind of first stats go is sort of the coach and the team sort of can almost choose who gets them, because by virtue of who has the ball in their hands, who gets shots, things like that. And a lot of Westbrook's rebounding was the kind of the rebounds that the offense sort of abandons and runs back on defense. He got all of them for Oklahoma City. Like, he led the NBA over the course of his triple-double years in uncontested rebounds, uncontested defensive rebounds. And the flip side of that is Steven Adams got no rebounds. But when Steven Adams was on the floor, the Thunder rebounded better defensively than when Russell Westbrook was on the floor, if that makes sense. So Steven Adams was on the floor, the Thunder were better at rebounding. So all of the boards that Westbrook was grabbing weren't necessarily helping the Thunder as much as that total of rebounds would for another player. Now, it's not to say those rebounds are worthless or bad somehow. They're just not worth as much. But at the same time, part of the reason Westbrook can be effective is he's great at pushing transition, getting your team into early offense. When a point guard rebounds, that becomes more of a factor. So him getting all these rebounds, I'm certain, played into his ability to, juice their pace and get them into early offense. So that's, so you're saying as rebounds, they're worth maybe slightly less, but because Westbrook got them, that they're turning into transition a little bit more. So it balances out, not completely, but some. And so it's not saying that like Westbrook is bad or getting a triple-double is bad. It's just the context of how a player goes about it matters a great deal in terms of, was this a good game or not?
Right.
And it's sort of, it's our arbitrary fascination with round numbers sort of gets in the way of how much did this guy help the team.
Right. So I assume, were you voting? I don't know if you had an official vote, but
I didn't. But
okay,
I would
you
not
didn't.
have.
But you would not have voted for
Yeah.
Westbrook for that particular season. So who would you have gone to? Like Kawhi or?
I try to remember whether contemporaneously it would have been Kawhi or Harden. I think I would have gone Harden.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, so he's, instead of the MVP, he's number 2 or number 3.
Right.
Like that's again always the fun thing about like saying these things. Oh, you're hating. It's like, yes, I thought he was the 3rd best player in the league.
Yeah, what a hater.
Yeah, what a hater. But that's an illustration of sort of one of my favorite concepts about basketball basketball stats is that what you're trying to do has to be taken into account with sort of what you accumulate. And when that diverges from team only, and then the impacts are different, which is one of those things that makes it hard to compare players, because it's really hard to study in detail. Well, Zach LaVine's doing this and Devin Booker's doing that. And it makes it difficult, but that's also the part that makes it interesting.
Sure.
It makes it so it's not like, well, I look at his numbers on paper and he's clearly better. It's like, that would be lame. No one like that.
It allows guys like you to write books like this. So we really appreciate you jumping on here. Again, everybody, go seek out Seth's new book, The Midrange Theory. You see it there. Can we grab this everywhere, basically, Seth? Or where do you want to send people to grab this? What's the move?
Best place to get it is Amazon or Triumph Books.
Okay.
The publisher Triumph has done very well for me.
There it is.
And you're a celebrity out there. You've got basketball coaches asking for your autograph.
Oh,
UW Oshkosh women's basketball coach Brad Fisher's grabbed you actually with your son as well. Hey, this guy wrote this book. I'm going to read it. Do you get a lot of that? Do you get a lot of coaches wanting to talk to you about your concepts and theories? And I know you said we like to hear our own voices as writers and podcasters. Does this make you feel awkward when a coach grabs you and wants to take a photo with you?
Sometimes. We'd been conversing about the book for Coach Fisher and I had been conversing about the book for a while, so it wasn't like, hey, I just ran into you, and we That was a staged photo.
Felt that way.
Oh, staged photo. There you go, Taz.
I was fooled.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Seth. Well, we got to take our first break. Thanks again. Congratulations on the book. Look forward to talking to you here on No Dunks down the line again, man. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving. And on that note, he's completely frozen again. So we will take our first break here and be back to have some fun Thanksgiving themed.
Man, sorry about that.
That's all right. You're really like Lily today. It's absolutely
Perfect replacement.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Every so often, a perfect confluence of events happens in a way that's better than anyone could have ever written. Like Vin Diesel showing up at an F1 race to hang out with Lewis Hamilton. The ideal meeting of two things in my world that even I wouldn't have guessed. Another one could be reading an ad for a sleep and meditation subscription called Calm that's endorsed by LeBron James the day after he's in one of the biggest brouhahas of his career. But just like Vin and Lewis know cars, LeBron and Calm know that your mind is like any muscle in your body, but you don't have to be a world champion to train it. Calm can help you train your brain so you sleep better, reduce your stress, and perform at your best, just like King James. For LeBron, sleep is a critical part of his mental fitness routine. As the King says, getting good sleep and finding time to rest is one of the most valuable things I can do for my body and mind. From the sound of rain falling on leaves to bedtime sleep stories. Calm puts me to sleep within minutes, which means I wake up ready for any challenge. I'm guessing LeBron had the rain falling on leaves straight up blasting last night in Detroit. For a limited time, our listeners can join LeBron in using Calm and get a 40% discount on a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/nodunks. Unlock content to help you focus, ease stress, and sleep better. Get started at calm.com/nodunks. That's calm.com/nodunks.
Making content an essential part of what we do around here. Y'all know this. We're the content kings. But it hasn't always been a seamless creative process. In fact, I've always said the most difficult part of creating a daily NBA show isn't actually recording the podcast. That's easy. It's all the work that comes after the show is done. Cutting clips, creating thumbnails and graphics, social posts. It's all that time and effort that goes into designing and sharing content that used to be a headache. Oh my God. But ever since we found Canva Pro, we're laughing over here at No Dunks. Canva Pro is a design platform that empowers you to create and share stunning content in just a few clicks. Super fast, super fun. You can choose from thousands of templates that are easy to customize, or you can just start from scratch. Canva Pro has endless premium fonts, photos, videos, and so much more that add a little personality, maybe a little edge to whatever you're designing. Did Edge show up at the Survivor Series over the weekend? I'm not sure. My favorite part is the functionality. Designing together has never been easier. Sharing, editing, commenting in real time. Canva Pro helps No Dunks, your boys, stay organized. So we're all on the same page, on top of our team projects. No more misplaced files, Lily, or tedious back and forth tasks. I don't know why I threw your names on there. I just thought I'd add a little something to the ad read. So design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.com/nodunks to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/nodunks. Canva.me/nodunks.
Yes, it's almost that time of year, guys and gals. Holidays, families, friends, food, fun. Most importantly, fits. Not the bad kind like throwing a tantrum. I mean the good kind, the cool kind, the fresh kind. And there's never been a better time to upgrade your look. Indochino's Black Friday event has their lowest prices of the year on suits, shirts, outerwear, and more. Plus, you'll save even more using code NODUNKS. I know I'll be feeling fresh and looking great after my experience online with Indochino because Indochino offers completely custom-fitted suits, shirts, casual wear, and more at surprisingly affordable prices. Measure yourself on the website in 10 minutes, then wear your suit out of the box in 3 to 4 weeks, which, if my math is correct, is just in time for Christmas. So you want to be looking great for those Christmas parties and get-togethers, don't you? So head to Indochino and do that. Every piece is made to your exact measurements, and you can customize every detail, including the fabric, lapel, monogram, and statement linings. You can create a suit that suits you, sir, or your style perfectly, Best part, Indochino suits start from just $299 and shirts from $45 with all customizations included. They're basically giving them away at this point. Get away from the video calls and back into looking and feeling amazing. Indochino's Black Friday event runs from November 8th to the 29th, which is on already right now. Save even more and get $50 off any purchase of $399 or more by using promo code NODUNKS at Indochino.com. That's $50 off a purchase of $399 or more at INDOCHINO.com, promo code NODUNKS.
All right, back with No Dunks here on a Wednesday. Our final show of the week. Oh, maybe our final show ever. Wait, here. No show tomorrow on Thursday or Friday because of American Thanksgiving. We're going to take some time off, spend it with family and friends. And I bring that up because I saw this comment here in the stream team during the commercial break from Leo. What a hot take this is. Thanksgiving is the worst holiday for meat. All right. You're not a fan of the ham? Yeah.
I guess if you're the animal, that's definitely true.
Very true. But I do have some fun Thanksgiving-themed NBA questions for you guys to close out the week here and to take us into the holidays. I actually asked people on Twitter last night, did a little crowdsourcing, like, hey, you got anything that comes to mind? Like, get creative. I was blown away by the responses. We got like 65 plus responses with really good questions. It became very difficult to just pick a couple of here, but I did. And we'll get into them. You guys have answers. Let's hear your answers from the stream team. Let's hear your answers in the comments below the video if you're watching later. Or if you're listening, jump on Twitter at NoDunksInc. Okay, so our first one, I think this is pretty self-explanatory here. It is, Trey, which team are you most thankful for here as we hit the holiday season?
Well, Skeets, come on. It's the Bulls for me. Yeah. Obviously, I don't think people realize that the Bulls were literally the worst team in the league from 2017 to 2021. 102 wins, fewest in the league, less than the Knicks, who are number 2, and then less than every other team who has been like blatantly tanking over these 4 seasons. So the fact that they're actually good now, and they're fun, and they're one of the best stories in the league for the first month, BAB, very thankful for this, obviously. But I'm also super thankful that the Golden State Warriors are back as well. They're taking us back to 2015, it feels like, with this Warriors team back in the day when Golden State was kind of everybody's second favorite team. They came out of nowhere with Steph Curry. They had that great series against the Nuggets in 2014, I think it was. But 2015 was the year they finally won the title. Steph won his first MVP. And they were just kind of like catching the league by storm, playing a different brand of basketball, which Seth talked about in the first block. And I don't know, they just had a sense of joy. And that team is 100% back right now because the 73-9 team was similar. Steph won his unanimous MVP, but then the Warriors became a 3-1 meme, no doubt about it, after the finals. Then they became the evil empire. Then they just had a couple of down seasons, and it kind of seemed like they would only ever be a dark horse contender. Right now, it feels like we're 100% back to the Warriors being the best and most fun team in the league. It's been fun to watch, you know. It feels so similar right now. Steph is Steph. Draymond is Draymond. I guess you're saying Andrew Wiggins is probably Harrison Barnes. Jordan Poole is Leandro Barbosa. Nemanja Bjelica is David Lee. Steve Kerr is Steve Kerr. It works perfectly. Klay Thompson is still to come back. They're playing with joy, and I just simply love joy. Oh. Joy is a great thing, especially around the holidays. So thankful for the Bulls, thankful for the Warriors.
I would agree with that too, because they have disappointed over the last couple of years, injury a big part and stuff like that, the Warriors. And we weren't watching a lot of their games. Like at that West Coast start, we had watched so much Warriors basketball the 5 or 6 years prior and going deep into the postseason and always hitting the finals. Yeah, it was like we were like refreshed ourselves, and it's been a joy to have them back. What's your answer though, Tass? Team you're most thankful for right now?
Yeah, good ones there. Mine are the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're just a scrappy bunch. The fight level of this team isn't going to change, even though they've got a lot of guys out. And they're earning respect around the league again after being a laughingstock the last few years. They only had a combined 60 wins the last 3 seasons. I guess they had a LeBron season before that, and that's the only reason why they had a better record than the Chicago Bulls over the last 4 years. But they are just had a terrible reputation. And then this year, they did it from within. It's not like they went out and grabbed a lot of different guys other than Ricky Rubio, who is a fantastic story and would be a fantastic guy to bring to the Thanksgiving table because he always turns you to turn that frown upside down and be happy. He's just a great dude. But they did it, from JB Bickerstaff coming back as head coach. And it just makes you believe. It makes you believe that anything is possible, like you're Kevin Garnett. And they're at 9-9, even though they started 9-5 and have lost 4 in a row. Nobody walks over the Cavs. Nobody. They just lost a 5-point game to the Brooklyn Nets, despite missing a ton of games from their best: Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Corral, Markkanen, Love, Sexton. Everybody's missing time, but they do it by committee, and the teamwork is impressive. And I just think at this point, here in America, we're all divided. This team is coming together, and they're just doing it together. And that fight level is not going anywhere. They've had lots of good wins. It's fun to watch them, and they could be way better. They're 9-9, but they are tied for the league in blown leads with 6, and that means that they're a legit 9-9 for me. And if they had their guys healthy, they would have been even better. So I'm thankful to watch this bunch just grow from within.
Just hope Mobley gets back onto the court, in a couple of weeks here, because that's what they originally had his diagnosis there, his injury. So hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Yeah. And I think he will be.
The athletic Kelsey Russo, he's out there. He's touching the ball again. So yeah, he seems like a quick healer.
Good. All right, great.
It was on the scouting report. I heard that's why he went so high.
Okay, what about this question here? Again, Thanksgiving themed. Who's been the biggest turkey so far? Tass, you got to start with this one.
Unfortunately, it's Zion Williamson, especially because this is the week we all gain a few pounds here in America, and everybody loves talking about Zion Williamson being overweight, and it's fair to question whether his body type can hold up in the NBA, because I don't think we've ever seen somebody this big who is relied upon to be a number one guy. Obviously, we've seen huge guys like if you're trying to think of a number one guy, at 6'6", 280 pounds, the Barkley comes in, even though he was shorter, but Barkley, his playing weight was smaller. And Barkley, I remember, did say he gained 20 pounds right before the draft because he didn't want the Sixers to draft him. So he went to Denny's all the time. But Barkley wasn't injured. He stayed healthy. And at Zion, whatever weight he's at, it's ranging from 280 pounds when he's playing to reports are 300 now. And, you see the photos, and it's fair to question this season for the Pelicans. They're at 3-16. He's weeks away. He'll hopefully be cleared for 5-on-5 this week, but a third of their season will probably be done. And it's a turkey-like season because there's talk about them moving already from New Orleans, which, hopefully that does not happen. And I know that it's on Zion and him getting healthy, but I guess if there was an image of a turkey, if we're trying to imagine a Pelicans turkey, half would be Zion Williamson, his face, and half would be head of B Ops David Griffin, because he's under the gun for sure. I mean, if it doesn't turn around, he didn't handle the Zion Williamson injury all that well. So that's a bad situation there in New Orleans, because the team behind Zion, even if he does get on the floor, it's still a question mark. They haven't put it together. But again, he would elevate that team so quickly. So, I say that in one breath, and then on the other side, if he comes back, he just got to be healthy. And that's the huge question. Who the heck knows with that one? Not a quick healer in this season anyway.
It was on the scouting report. Not a quick healer. What do you have, Trey, for this biggest turkey so far?
Well, Ben Simmons maybe could be the biggest turkey because it's feeding a lot of people. Ben Simmons is. John Schumann mentioned it to us on Twitter yesterday. It's taken a long time to bake this turkey. We've been talking about Ben Simmons possibly being traded for months and months, and we still got a 10-minute segment out of Ben Simmons possibly being traded. Leftovers, maybe slice up a sandwich here. There's a lot of meat left on the bone for Ben Simmons. Once he finally gets traded, we're still going to be talking about how he fits with his next team But, I don't know. Some people like turkey, some people don't. So also a good Ben Simmons point there. Very polarizing player. I'd also say De'Aaron Fox is kind of a turkey to me right now, just because I feel bad for the guy at this point. His new contract that he signed with the Kings just kicked in this season. And the team stinks like they always have. And Tass mentioned it. The body language is just not great with Fox. He's obviously struggling this season. He's getting closer to 20 points per game, but he's still under 30% from three. And he's just got to be feeling like, wrong holiday, but this is Groundhog's Day. It feels like the same exact Kings team all the time. And he just looks sad out there like, oh my goodness, I got to spend the next 5 seasons doing the exact same thing. I almost wonder if he's pulling like a stealth Simmons, trying to get his way out of Sacramento by just not being 100% involved and just dogging it out there. So to me, Fox is one of the guys who has disappointed most so far this season.
Yep, good answers there. I actually stopped myself, guys, in the A block from asking Seth about potential Ben Simmons trades. I was like, I was about to do it. I was like, nah. One show we can take a break. All right, our next question here. This one came by way of @Taylor_Stein. So this was from him. Shout out to Taylor out there. It's a little interesting. He asked, which player has been the canned cranberry to their team's feast this year? Yes, the canned cranberry. And he went on to sort of clarify, Tass, reliable, surprisingly still around, and squarely meets expectations. Now, I am not a canned cranberry guy, but I understand where Taylor's coming from. Some people would describe it as such. So when it comes to a player, what's an answer for Taylor here?
Well, Taylor, the feast is going on, and then you throw in this side here. It comes off the shelf and provides a little bit of color, a little bit of color for this beige table. The red cranberry comes in, and for me, it's Montrezl Harrell off the bench, off the shelf, because the Wizards feast, fantastic. And I guess people sort of forgot about Montrezl Harrell because of the season he had with the Lakers. He's still young enough to be producing, but he came back with a vengeance this season at 17-9. He is a 6th man of the year candidate, shooting 65% from the field, which is really nuts. And sometimes as the table, it's one tone. It's straight beige. He is kind of the energy the team needs, to a little bit of pick me up. I know you're not a fan, Skeets, of the canned crayons.
No, I'm not.
Either am I.
No.
But it's nice to have something a little sweet, at the table.
A little tang.
A little tangy, exactly. Yeah, change the color of your plate. Whoa, this is crazy. Color.
We have a lot of suggestions, Trey, before we get your answer. I mean, the stream team's going crazy here. We got LaMarcus Aldridge as a possibility, Millsap, maybe Melo.
Hassan Cranside.
Yeah, that was a nice line. Schroeder.
I'm Mr. Cranside.
Jeff Green. Taj Gibson is a pretty good one. Just sort of always there. So anyway, who do you have, Trey? What's your answer for the canned cranberry? Also known as cranberry sauce, I guess.
Sure, yeah. I actually, Taj Gibson is a good one, as is Hassan Cranside. Not a guy I was expecting anything from, but give me Andre Drummond, mostly known for his big beefs, but this has been a great find for the Sixers. Backup center, a very valuable position for Philadelphia. Usually it has been Embiid getting in trouble with injuries. Obviously, he's had COVID this year, but it's been nice for the Sixers to have Andre Drummond step in. 9 starts, 3 beefs, 7th in the league in rebounding, plays a little bit of defense on the perimeter, decent passing. Also cheap. He's on a minimum deal there. You can get a can of cranberry sauce for like $2 probably. So you're getting the value both ways, but also not a huge ceiling for cranberry sauce out of a can. Not a huge ceiling for Andre Drummond. The Sixers are 3-6 in his starts. That was a question I kind of had for Seth. Like, you talk about, do rebounds mean anything? Do Andre Drummond's rebounds mean anything? Or is he the king of being the closest guy to the hoop, grabbing the boards? Just like cranberry sauce is drifting by, getting by on the strength of mashed potatoes. It doesn't have to bring a lot to the table, but Drummond has been a solid find. I think it's kind of similar to Montrezl Harrell, where they both had bad seasons last year. They're coming into contract years this year, both balling out, giving 100% effort when they can. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting much from Drummond as the backup center in Philadelphia, but it's been nice having him around.
Yeah, the ones that definitely mean something are he does grab a lot of offensive rebounds, so
Totally.
it's
Yeah.
giving him a second chance there. Somebody in the stream team asked me because I said I don't like cranberry sauce, but Evan wants to know: do you like cranberry Canada Dry? Absolutely, a beautiful beverage. Love it around the holiday season. Now I've talked about this before. I find it difficult to find the raspberry version of Canada Dry. Cranberry you see a lot more in most stores, but every once in a while, you find the raspberry. Oh, I love it. I love it.
What a
So
find.
good.
I love it.
It's so good. Thank you for asking that. Okay, final one. And JD, I definitely want to hear from you too. We'll start with Trey, but this was from @JPhilP97 on Twitter. Which, I did modify it a little bit, but which 4 current NBA players would you invite over for Thanksgiving? And then the bonus question is, what dish is each player bringing? So Trey, again, get us started here. I wanted current players. I really don't know why I made it that yet, but anyway, I guess it's more realistic. It could happen. Who are you inviting over?
Well, we had a stream teamer mention that Thanksgiving is a bad holiday for meat, but I think we can all agree you got to have meat on the table. So I'm bringing 2 sets of teammates here. First, from the Detroit Pistons, a.k.a. the Detroit Proteins, got to have Isaiah Beef Stewart in the mix. And I'm also opening my heart, guys, and I'm going to try a Thanksgiving Hamadou Diallo. I'll have those 2 guys as my main courses, but you got to have some sides. So I'm going on down to New Orleans, where I'm getting some Josh Hardy potatoes and a little bit of Herb Jones for seasoning everything up. This was all working up to that Herb Jones joke.
That's good.
Straight up a guy named Herb.
We don't talk about it enough.
No.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was Herb. Okay, I like that. Yeah, firing the pun gun here.
Yeah, I forgot about those puns.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lamb can show up as well if you want to.
Sure.
If you want every meat, there you go. Got all the meats.
Who are you inviting to us, and are you giving them something to bring?
Well, to me, I like some things at the Thanksgiving table to be super basic. And my man Giannis Antetokounmpo, we know he celebrated having a smoothie when he first got to America. His tweet, "God bless America," when he had his first smoothie. It's a simple drink. So is the Oreo cookie, which he celebrated yesterday. He said, "You won't believe me, but a kid just told me to try dunking my Oreos in milk. Man, game changer," on Twitter. #new bedtime snack. I don't think this is an ad. I think he just had an Oreo.
Right.
I love #mad my girl didn't tell me sooner. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, he's always taking it out on Mariah. I like things simple. Yesterday, I got in a box stuffing, just straight off a Walmart shelf.
Yeah. And
Danielle saw it on a Walmart shelf. She said, "I know you like your box stuffing, Tess. I like it all year round." So I threw it in a pan, butter, water, done. And I think Giannis Antetokounmpo would bring a boxed stuffing. It's the simplest thing. And because he likes Oreos, smoothies, and stuffing. He's a simple man.
You do like a simple, just dry box stuffing.
Okay, it's not dry.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. It's not
water.
I like it. Don't worry. I love it.
When you make it, it gets wet.
It does.
Like I know people are complaining, turkey is so dry. Well, get somebody who will make a wet turkey for you, or make it yourself. It doesn't have to be dry. It's all in the preparation.
Right.
And it's I've had a lot of dry turkey in the past. It's hard to make a good turkey.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she struggled making a turkey growing up. I gotta admit it.
Yeah.
But it's possible. It's possible to make a good turkey, and I'm okay with a box stuffing. Sometimes we talked about sloppy joes and sloppy beefs. You can have a sloppy stuffing. You can oversaturate stuffing.
Yeah.
And I think Giannis can show up with straight up box.
Like a stovetop, basically.
Yeah, stovetop. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Not stove in. What's the difference? I don't know.
Do you have any other invites, or just Giannis and
I'm going to bring LaMelo because we know the photo of him in his car, yellow jacket, yellow car. because I'd like to show him what's under my hood because I bought an e-car and I'd like to show him my front trunk and what I keep in there. There ain't an engine in there. It's crazy. Can you believe it?
Just show him my front.
It's an extra compartment. Wild.
Like a big glove compartment.
Yeah, it's stupid. Do you keep anything in it? I do. I've got a baseball glove in it.
I thought you were gonna say it's like full of just boxes of stovetop.
Yeah.
That's his pantry. Okay. Anyone else?
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, you really answered that question like Lee Ellis would.
Totally.
Bringing up Oreo cookies to get the honest and then the car. I love it. JD, who are you inviting over to Thanksgiving? What are they bringing?
I mean, okay, he's not a player, but I have to. It's got to be Greg Popovich because I love wine, and he's bringing a good wine. And there's a lot of wine drinkers in the NBA, but I feel like Greg's I think he's next level in his cellar. I think he's going to bring something really
special.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I love a family game night breaking out, at these dinners. So Rajon Rondo, I mean, let's get the Connect Four out and let's throw down. I like it when it gets ugly. Like let's get angry at each other. That's Thanksgiving to me.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler, obviously going to do the after dinner coffees, right?
Okay.
But Lou will. He's going to stop off at Magic City and bring me those lemon pepper wings that
Nice.
I've heard so much about, but I've never had. And of course, just as an added bonus, I'm going to invite Serge Ibaka and Kyle Kuzma because we may go out in the backyard for a little campfire action. So I want my guests to be warm, and they will definitely be warm. They just snuggle up to one of these two and climb under that sweater or scarf. And yeah.
Right. Really nice. Hey, have you ever played the board game Code Names, JD?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Do I have it?
Well, yeah, I don't know if you have it.
I don't have it.
I'll let you borrow it. I think I could see you and the family getting into that. It's a fun game. I know Trey's played. We played when we were on vacation with a bunch of people once. We just bought it. That's why.
Code Names.
This is how good it is. My wife, Nora, hates board games. She hates card games. I've said this before. She liked this game so much that she bought it. Couldn't wait. I was like, what? You?
Right.
So
I'm in.
Yeah. Well, there it is. All right. Well, let's hear from everybody in the stream team. Drop your answers in the YouTube comments to all four of those Thanksgiving themed cues. We're going to take one more break. JD's got tweet of the night. We got pick 'em results, and we'll get you ready for the long NBA weekend. We'll be right back.
So, guys, I've searched for a lot of sus stuff on the internet. I'll throw out some examples. I recently Googled the effects of canine shock collars on humans. That's for possibly a pick 'em payoff coming up. Don't worry, Skeets. It doesn't seem that detrimental. I've searched for Spanx for men. Not going to lie. I Googled Evan Fournier just to see.
Don't do it.
Big mistake. Mistake. Don't do it. And I know what most of you are probably thinking. Why don't you just use incognito mode? Well, let me tell you something. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history, your internet service provider can see every single website you've ever visited. Oh my God, I gotta get ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. They don't need to know about all that Velma cosplay you look at. It keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the time, I don't even realize it's on. It runs seamlessly in the background, and it's so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button, and you're protected. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET. Visit our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/NoDucks. And you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's ExpressVPN, EXPRESSVPN.com/NoDucks. ExpressVPN.com/NoDucks. wedgies.com/nodunks to learn more.
I'm guilty of buying cheap socks, and I regret it every time. I'm shopping for other stuff, and then I'm at the end. Suggestion, throw this in your cart. Yeah, okay. I get them, put them on the first time, and I think, fresh socks, feels good. Then I wash them once, just once, and it looks like they've been used for years, and the cushioning is gone. Happens all the times. Stance socks are absolutely not like that. Wash them and wash them and wash them. They remain super comfortable and soft, and they look the same because they are durable. I have a nice midnight black pair that has some stars on them. They're a creative bunch, those Stance developers. They have all sorts of collabs with Harry Potter socks, Batman, The Goonies, Star Wars, The Office, Wu-Tang, Jill Perkins, Disney, Barbie, Marvel, Bob Marley. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And their boxer briefs are very nice too. Not too tight around the thighs, they don't bunch up. Kind of like Spanx, JD. And they are super breathable. Very valuable venting ventanas in the bottom of them. Stance has the perfect gift for every punk and poet on your list. Like the Beastie Boys or Post Malone. Go see for yourself. It's easy. Just head on over to stance.com and pick out some styles you think they might like. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance.
Okay, it's time for Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Yeah, we're going super old school for Tweet of the Night today because it's a 90s era topic, which is apropos, and it comes out of a physical newspaper. That old man Tassie, he had his Atlanta Journal-Constitution out, reading the paper. He grabbed the scissors, clipped out this article, and sent it to me. And I said, "Hey, I've already clipped it myself, Tassie, and put it on my fridge." So they're just shuffling around in our slippers, doing our old man stuff. And here it is. Okay. It's the Backstreet Boys.
Whoa.
I Want It That Way is in YouTube's billion views club. I mean,
wow.
Crazy. That's crazy news to me because honestly, I thought, isn't it already? Like, how is it not already billion views? And then I realized there's only 5 other songs from the 90s that have reached 1 billion views on YouTube. So let's do some trivia time. Can you name the 5 other 90s released songs that are in the billion view club on YouTube?
God. Oh, I'm getting bad at this.
It's not as. I guess it is hard.
Oh, is that why you blurred out the one portion
Yes,
of
I
that
did.
clipping?
Yeah.
Nice.
No cheating. No
Look
cheating.
at you. Okay, Trey, I think you're going to
90s.
be better at this, I think, than I am.
I don't think so, Skeets. My first 2 thoughts were OMC, how bizarre.
Interesting.
That would be bizarre.
Yeah, if that has 1 billion views, I want to know the rest. I'm buying the rights. The other guess I had was My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
Oh, that's a
song
good guess.
to Titanic.
It's a good guess, but that was released in 2000, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
See, there's
Not
something.
97.
There is something
97.
JD in that family of songs. There's
Absolutely,
one that's
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
is there?
let's get
Okay,
the
what
hints.
about the Spice Girls?
Not the Spice Girls. And I'll also
Wow.
say that the Backstreet Boys are the only boy band in this list
Oh,
of 5.
interesting. Okay.
Can you get?
We're talking about, okay, think grunge, the biggest
So
grunge.
Nirvana.
Smells Like Teen Spirit. Okay,
Yeah,
got
okay.
it.
I should have
Wow.
said that. Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. Okay.
1 billion
Yeah,
views. Okay.
I know. It's crazy, this list. Okay, this band Lee did not like.
The Cure.
Okay, no. He was disappointed by them and it wasn't actually the band, and they were late.
Oh,
He just talked about this last week.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh man.
wasn't the complete band.
Wasn't a complete band. Heavy metal band from
Guns
the
N'
80s.
Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
November Rain.
November Rain.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Legendary
Nice.
video.
Yep.
Okay, this isn't a hint. This is a comment. I despise this band, and I cannot believe it has a billion.
Wonderwall.
Oh, wait.
No.
Oh.
No.
Don't
All
Look Back in
female
Anger?
group at the
Oh.
time. but when they released their album, they replaced their drummer with a male person.
Like No Doubt or something?
Nope.
Oh.
All women SWV.
This one's the hardest one, I think.
This is hard, yeah.
TLC?
You'll be like, what? A billion listens for this song.
Are they all? It's a band though. A woman's band.
All women, all female when they started, but they did have a male drummer.
People are saying like,
"What's Up" by Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Billion views.
Come on. A
Okay.
billion views. That's like that to me would be on par with "How Bizarre" by OMC.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a
Totally.
90s one-hit wonder. That's a crazy one to be.
wow.
Yeah, she went on to write some good songs. Linda Perry she wrote songs for Pink and for Christina Aguilera. But anyway, okay, two more. Huge grunge song, huge grunge band, female singer.
Alanis Morissette?
Nope.
Ooh.
Whose name rhymes with a female body part. Little Seinfeld reference there.
And there was a mention of the band,
There's a lead singer
their
named
name in
Dolores.
the last segment of the show,
Okay.
in
That's
the
right.
Thanksgiving portion of the show,
That's right.
with an item with
The
a food.
Cranberries
the
zombie.
Cranberry.
That's right, Trey.
That's
You
right.
got it.
These
You
are,
got it.
these are insane.
I know.
believe
I know.
this. Yeah.
Okay, last one. This one's not that insane.
No,
This is a cover song of
Okay.
one of the best ballads ever written. And I would argue that this version is not as good as the original, but it's one of the biggest ballad of all time, sung by one of
Whitney Houston?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will always love you.
I will always love you.
Good
guys.
one.
Okay. All right.
We did it. We got there.
Wow. So some of those numbers are goosed, right?
I mean,
Goosing them.
I guess. I mean, some of them is just like, I hate my roommate, so I'm putting on What's Up for 10 hours straight on a loop just to F with them, you know?
Yeah,
But
maybe.
yeah,
That's
I
a
don't know.
surprising one to me. That's
Oh.
crazy.
That's a fun tweet of the night, though, right there, JD. I brought up one of my guesses was Alanis Morissette. Have you watched the documentary?
No,
JD?
not yet.
No.
I'm a little reluctant because she disavowed it, right?
I know.
So
Nora was telling me that. Yeah. I was like trying to figure out why. I guess she just didn't like some of the things they kept in it.
I think something was revealed that she didn't want to be revealed.
Yeah.
But, I'll probably
Anyway.
watch it.
I just never realized, I guess, how big that album was.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how she. I also forgot that she was like a Canadian, little pop star, sort of
Yeah.
lower level. Sort of forgotten all about that all.
Yeah.
So, anyway, check it out if you guys want
Crazy.
to. Okay, pick 'em results brought to you by BetMGM last night. Lakers, Knicks. Knicks were favored by 3.5. Right? No LeBron, and it was up in the air whether Anthony Davis was going to play. He did look, I will admit, really sick looking. Did you guys see him in pregame warmups? It was like, this guy might be puking on the sidelines here. I mean, it does have the flu here, but he did play. But I knew I was in trouble with my pick going the Lakers and Task did as well, because Task, the line, it jumped from Knicks favored by 3.5 to 6.5. Now, again, probably the whole AD question mark up in the air. And I'm like, we've seen this happen before. You watch. It'll land right between there. It'll land between 3.5 and 6.5. Just watch. Sure enough, Knicks won by 6, and that's exactly where it landed. So it's a loss for Tass and I. I am in real big trouble here, trying to catch Trey Kirby as we run out of days in November. I'm 7-10. Tass is fine, 13-4. Trey's now 9-8, and Lee is 11-6 because he had the Knicks. So there are a lot of games on tonight. 26 of the 30 teams are in action tonight. I think I saw Zilla write in his newsletter. So which one are we picking? Because I really need to go opposite of Trey and gain a game here, because we'll have a couple days when we return after the holiday break.
Yeah, 13 games on this evening because there are 0 turkey games, if I'm correct. I don't
That's
think
right.
There's no games on Thanksgiving Day.
That's football day.
That's football day. Let's go Pack. Let's go Cowboys. Let's go
Let's go
Lions. I guess
Lions.
they always play. I am going with probably pick a game that we wouldn't have considered as the one that we pick, but I like this one because I think it's a pretty tough one. Miami going into Minnesota, who's a 2.5-point dog. Now, when the Grizzlies came to Minnesota recently, the Wolves' Anthony Edwards was told, hey, we haven't beat the Grizzlies in a long time. That's all Anthony Edwards needed to hear. And he took care of business. So now Jimmy Butler's coming to town with the Miami Heat. Somebody's got to tell Anthony Edwards, hey, he used to play on this team. We didn't like him. Oh, that's all I need. We're going to win our fifth in a row. They have won 4 in a row. Miami's on a back-to-back. They did beat Detroit yesterday. They had to travel. Yep. And Jimmy Butler was doing the raspberries with his mouth, or blowing raspberries, I guess you call it. You know that. So I'm buying that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to cover, and we've got a split. Ooh. Skeets, you're with me, and Trey and Lee are on the Miami Heat.
Okay. Yeah. Trey, why Miami? What's your ultimate decision here, reasoning?
Yeah, they're a lot better than the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's why I picked them. I guess they are on a back-to-back, which could be a little bit worrying, but and I'm honestly shaking in my boots now. If this is how they motivate Anthony Edwards, just tell him something about the history of the team and it works, then the Heat are screwed. But I'll roll with Jimmy Butts going in there tonight.
Okay, there we go. We got Trey and Lee taking Miami. They got to win by 3 or more points up in Minnesota. Tass and I. We got the Dogs that are the Wolves. Also, not to be confused with Dags, who is Daryl Morey. Guys, send in your questions. Keep them coming. Email them in. NoDunks@theathletic.com. NBA and non-NBA questions. Hit us up on Twitter @NoDunksInc or drop a comment below the vid here. Grab yourself an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/NoDunks. Deal of the year on right now. $1 a month for 12 months for new subscribers. So if you don't have a subscription, it's not going to get better than that. So I would highly recommend you go grab one. And if you're a Survivor nerd, like a few of us are, join No Buffs tonight. Yes, tonight, following episode 10 of Survivor 41. We're going to go live around 9:15, 9:20, somewhere around there. So you can join us live tonight. We usually, of course, wait until Thursday, but it's Thanksgiving tomorrow here in the States. So we'll do it tonight. We'll jump on and recap tonight's episode. It'd be a great time to get some of your questions live, be a part of the live tribe, which we call the stream team when we do the No Buffs, because it's going to be a quick turnaround. JD, we're going to go right into it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Usually I like to really get my fine tooth comb out and comb through the episode after watching it, but we're just going to be shooting off the hip, shooting from the hip, off the hip, doing just a instant reaction, which I don't think I'm very good at, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Go ahead.
I got a question there. If you're watching on YouTube, we put up a photo of a challenge.
Yeah, it looks like
of the Survivor contestants doing a challenge. It's a ball balancing on some sort of little tabletop type thing that they're holding on a stick, a platform. Exactly. Is this a photo from tonight's challenge?
I believe so. This is what Survivor usually does. They tease a few photos.
What a tease. What a tease. It's got me excited. This challenge looks exciting. Look at the focus.
Two takeaways from this photo. Classic challenge. The old ball on top of the thing. You see the lines there going to be moving their hands up, getting trickier and trickier. And I also wonder, looking at the colors of the balls they have here, are they going to be splitting tribes again to try and send people different places? The black, white, black? Who knows?
What is this, abalone?
I don't know. We'll be talking about it tonight.
Giannis tweet?
We'll be talking about episode 10 tonight, again live after the show on the East Coast, of course. Airs at 8 p.m. Eastern, and like I said, we'll be on the No Bus YouTube channel around 9:15, and we'll spin that into a podcast as fast as one can, as fast as JD humanly can. I don't know. I'm not. Hey, I got the booster shot yesterday.
Ooh.
Hey. And I got my flu vaccine shot. So I did the double whammy. I'm not feeling all that hot right now. I'm a little worried about tonight here, this post No Buffs. I think maybe I'll take a super nap. Just feeling like just sluggish.
Yeah.
Did you guys get your booster shots? I can't remember.
I'm getting mine next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The arm's a little tender. That's fine. But just like, I just feel like crap.
I love people who report that their arm is sore after a shot.
Yeah.
You got stabbed, man.
Yeah.
That's my one side effect, a sore arm.
Here's the thing. The booster arm hurts more than the flu shot arm in terms of ow. This one, ow. This one, let's go.
So you went booster in your left arm. No surprise. I guess my question
No
was going to be
surprise.
why did you choose booster in the left arm? But then I said no surprise because I don't know. You're planning on using your right arm more.
I was a little disappointed. My guy, his name was Raymonta. I've never heard that name. Awesome name. That's a cool name. I don't know if people call him Ray, but Raymonta right there on his name tag. I said, can I do them both in the same arm? He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, what do you suggest? Should I do one in each arm? Like, what's the protocol here? And he wouldn't give me an answer. So I had to just I was like, just tell me. I'm trusting you, man. I trust science. I've proven this by coming in here.
He can't give that kind of advice. What if you come back and say, hey, man, I couldn't work today. I don't know. I'm saying I'm getting mine in the neck. I'm getting both mine in
the ass. I guess like if I could do it again, I'd put it in the, because then at least, just one arm is sort of feeling not all that great, a little numb there for a couple hours, but whatever. It's all good. Everybody go get your booster shot if you can, if you haven't already. All right. And your flu shot too. Trey, you're all boosted up, aren't you?
I'm boosted up. I know the girls finished their second shots earlier this morning. Laura got her booster. We got our flu shots like 3 weeks ago. At this point, I think we have more white blood cells than red blood cells.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so join us tonight after Survivor episode 10 on the No Buffs YouTube channel around 9:15. Thanks again to Seth Partnow. Everybody go grab his book. Just search for it. The Midrange Theory. We'll grab it off Amazon or Triumph Books, like he says. Thanks to Seth for swinging by this morning here. We will see you guys in the No Dunks feed on Monday morning. All you Americans have a very safe and healthy Thanksgiving. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, I've been getting shots for a long time. Trusted the science just like you, Skeets. But it's only been a couple years where I've been told you got to move the arm that you get the shot in, because that loosens it up. That gets you good. So that lessens the pain. So I guess as you're flowing there, Skeets, I guess you do it in your dominant arm because you move it more. Maybe that's a good suggestion. Not a doctor, not a nurse. I'm not Raymonta, but I think you should put it in your dominant arm so you don't have to complain about it being so sore.
It's much more fun to complain about it, I'll tell you that. All right, everybody, embrace the turkey, people.